Hello friends, and welcome to our full moon ceremony. Today the sun is in the sign of Capricorn, and the moon is in its opposite sign, Cancer. And tonight we have the unique opportunity to all be together in meditation at the exact moment of the full moon, 7:28 p.m. So this is the moment of greatest intensity, the moment when the portal to the spiritual realms opens up fully and pours down upon us the energies of Cancer and Capricorn. And I wanted to start this evening by wishing you all a Happy New Year, but it felt a bit irreverent given all the suffering and grief in our world at this time. So instead, I'd like to invite you to be in prayer this next week for our country. There are two very important events happening that will greatly affect our nation. On January 5th, the senatorial race in Georgia will be held, and on January 6th, the Vice President receives the Electoral College votes and hopefully, finally, validates the election of Joe Biden. The reason I'm asking you to be in prayer is because the astrological indicators happening next week are not particularly harmonious. There's a potential for disruption and conflict. So I would invite you in your prayers to invoke the soul of America. Ask that she pour forth her energies onto the people of the United States, that they may make wise decisions, that they may be infused with the higher values that this soul represents. You know, the ancient wisdom teachings tell us that the destiny of our planet is to become a beacon of light in the cosmos. So as we invoke the light of the soul of America into our country, we are helping to manifest the highest calling of our planet. So let's make it a prayerful week for our country and for the world. Let us prepare now for our alignment. Seating yourselves comfortably, relaxing the body, settling the mind, breathing into the body with ease and gentleness, closing our eyes. As we gather together tonight, let us imagine ourselves sitting in a sacred circle. Let our intention be to create within this circle a positive energy field of light and love. As we focus on our hearts, let the warmth of our love fill the space around us. Then imagine these loving energies connecting to each person in our circle, each person joining us here tonight. See us as a network of lighted hearts. Take a moment to feel the love flowing out from you to each person in our circle. And now tune into your heart and feel the love you are receiving from each person in the circle. Now in your imagination, send this love light into the center of our circle, where it forms a vortex of powerful magnetic energy. Send this energy out into the world to bless our entire planet. See it encircling the planet like a gentle mist, and then imagine the earth inhaling this love light, breathing it into every kingdom of nature. Slowly now, breathe this energy back into your own body, receiving the love and light from the sacred circle and breathing in your own divine light. Sit for a few minutes in the glow of your own sacred brilliance. And please bring yourselves gently back and open your eyes. So we're going to talk for a few minutes about the Capricorn energy. Capricorn embodies the masculine principle, which is not to be confused with the masculine energy of the patriarchy. It's related to the father energy, the energy of spirit, meaning it's an active, assertive energy. It's strong in organizing and leadership and determination. There's a strong will energy in Capricorn. One of the challenges of Capricorn is to develop the right use of power and authority. The more unevolved Capricorn will tend to exert power over. And when I say unevolved, there's no judgment around that. It's just a stage in the evolutionary journey of every person. The stage where one is totally identified with their personality. There's no awareness yet of something beyond themselves. But as the Capricorn personality begins to be impacted by the soul energy, there will be a greater ability to trust their own inner authority and to use their power wisely. Someone has described the Capricorn energy as the wise use of slow action. Because with all that will energy, it can be hard to contain. Cancer, as the opposite sign, embodies the feminine principle, or the mother energy, matter. Cancer is receptive and feeling, not to be confused with passivity. But when these two blend at the highest levels, we have what's referred to as the marriage in the heavens, spirit joined with matter. Master Jesus was the perfect example of this marriage. He fully embodied his divinity, expressing his soul nature perfectly through his personality, through his form. Capricorn is an earth sign, meaning it's solid, pragmatic. It has to learn to live in physical, concrete reality. It's practical, down to earth. Cancer, on the other hand, is a water sign, fluid and sensitive and emotional. So the challenge becomes, how do we balance this go with the flow energy of Cancer with the let's make it happen energy of Capricorn? So it's interesting to think about which energy you most identify with. The masculine spirit principle or the feminine matter principle, mother principle. And remember, the key to balance is always choice. Being aware of when we're out of balance and choosing to go back to our center. Awareness always allows us to access any energy when it's needed. We can access will, for example, when we notice we're being too fluid, or we can access fluidity when we see we are becoming too rigid. But it requires that we be mindful so that we understand and can see when we're out of balance, when we're too identified with one polarity. Capricorn loves to be the provider. Cancer loves to be the nurturer. So you might ask yourself, can you become a nurturing provider? Cancer feels. Capricorn, not so much. Capricorns don't usually have much access to their feeling nature. They're more detached. So you can ask yourself, can I become lovingly detached instead of just shutting down? I think for most of us it's easy to shut down, but can we do that with love? Two of the symbols for Capricorn are the mountain goat and the mountain top. And if you've ever seen a mountain goat, I mean, I haven't, but I'm told that they're very sure-footed. They're very cautious as they move up the mountain, step by step. So there's a poem by the poet Maya Stein that describes pretty well the Capricorn energy. And it's called How to Climb a Mountain. Quote, "Make no mistake, this will be an exercise in staying vertical. Yes, there will be a view. Later, a wide swath of open sky. But in the meantime, tree and stone, and if you're lucky, a hawk will coast overhead, scanning the forest floor. If you're lucky, a set of wildflowers will keep you cheerful. But mostly, though, a steady sweat, your heart fluttering indelicately, a solid ache perforating your calves. This is called work. What you will come to know eventually and simply as movement, as all the evidence you need to make your way. Forget where you were. That story is no longer true. Level your gaze to the trail you're on, and even the dark won't stop you." End quote. So this is the Capricorn mountain goat, sure and steady, hard-working, determined to reach the mountaintop. In esoteric astrology, they speak of two mountains. The first mountain is the mountain of materialism, where we just accumulate things and we're focused on status and achievement, making our mark. We're solidly identified with physical reality and there's not much connection to spirit. The mantra for this level is, let ambition rule. Usually the journey up the second mountain comes when there's a realization that the mountain of materialism does not really provide the peace or the meaning that one had hoped. The second mountain is called the mountain of spiritual aspiration. We climb this mountain to become transformed and infused by our soul's energy. Kahlil Gibran has written a poem about this mountain called The Blessed Mountain. Quote, "You may have heard of the Blessed Mountain. It's the highest mountain in our world. Should you reach the summit, you would have only one desire, and that is to descend and be with those who dwell in the deepest valley. That is why it is called the Blessed Mountain." End quote. So this month, one of the questions we could ponder is, which mountain am I climbing? And am I climbing it because I chose this mountain? Or am I climbing someone else's idea of the mountain they think I should climb? Whichever mountain I am on, do I embody the Capricornian energy of commitment and determination? Am I willing to plod step by step, undeterred to the top? This is the Capricorn journey. But choose your mountain carefully, making sure that as you journey to the top, you're manifesting your highest values. In just a few moments now, we will experience the exact moment of the full moon. So let us begin to prepare ourselves. Let's once again sink into that place of stillness. Closing our eyes, breathing gently and evenly. Letting the whole body relax and let go. Now let the mental body be alert and focused. I want you to imagine that a portal has been opened between the earth and the heavens, creating a bright golden ray of light. See it enter the planet, filling it with the energies of Capricorn and Cancer. Now imagine that energy entering your body, the nurturing, sensitive energies of Cancer, of the mother, blending with the dynamic, assertive energies of Capricorn, the father. Imagine the marriage of the heavens happening in your own body. Let us sit with that while we are in silence for the next 10 minutes, and I will ring a bell at the exact moment of the full moon. We will remain in silence for another 5 minutes. Now please bring yourselves gently back. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Feel yourself fully present. Feet solidly on the floor, grounded, connected to the earth. So another poem. A poem called Love Itself by M. Clare. Please do not regret all those moments that have brought you here. If you are reading this, then your perseverance has been answered, and grace is coming. Yay! So for now, hold on loosely to where you are. Hold on loosely to where you are. And like knots on a rope that mark your reaching, hand over hand you will continue to climb. Sometimes through ecstasy, sometimes through white agony, but higher and higher into ever more light. This same formula over and over again, until the day you find yourself just a beacon, only flame, in a place where even love itself has come undone. End quote. So this is another description of the Capricorn journey, climbing each day higher and higher, hand over hand with perseverance, that's Capricorn, until the mountaintop is reached. But every day, more and more light, just as the promise of solstice brought us. The mantra for this level of Capricorn energy is, lost am I in light supernal, yet on that light I turn my back. Because at the mountaintop is transfiguration, enlightenment, transformation. But we're not to stay there. We are to take that light and descend back down the mountaintop to share our light with the world. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. So I want to say just a few more things about this polarity of Capricorn and Cancer, because I know this energy very well. I have Capricorn rising and my moon is in Cancer. So this full moon has been pretty powerful for me. And the moon represents our emotional body. So for many years when I was younger, this Cancer energy was predominant. It's easy for people with strong Cancer in their chart to become codependent, meaning they always consider other people's needs over their own. They nurture everyone. Boundaries are very difficult for the Cancer person to set. I'm reminded of the story that I think I've told some of you before, but when my daughter was in high school, she had a boyfriend. And he would come over to the house, and he was a welcome visitor, but he would never knock before he came in the house. And that really bugged me. And I wanted to say to him, could you please just knock before you come into the house? But I couldn't. I couldn't find the energy or the courage to do that. That's how codependent I was. So boundaries are very difficult for the Cancer person to set. They want to serve, they want to help, to ease and smooth things over. So it's taken me many years to incorporate more fully my Capricorn energy, to be able to access that will, that assertive energy, not aggressive, assertive, just being able to ask for what I need. That gives me permission to ask for what I need, and not in a selfish way where you completely disregard the other, but in a loving way. So Capricorn and Cancer can work together in a loving, detached way. Like I said before, for most of us, I would guess it's probably fairly easy to shut down, to detach from people and situations that are uncomfortable. But it's a lot more difficult to do it with an open heart. And that's the trick. So I want to share two short stories that sort of demonstrate what I'm talking about. And you may have heard me share these before, but I think they're so relevant. The Buddha is purported to have said, and I have no proof that he actually said this, it may have been just a Buddhist teacher, but I think it's profound. He said, never throw anyone out of your heart. It doesn't mean you shouldn't throw them out of your house, but never throw them out of your heart. Boundaries, loving detachment. The other story was shared by a spiritual teacher named Danielle Laporte, who was telling of a conversation with her teenage son who had just had his heart broken. He was rejected by his girlfriend. He was feeling miserable, helpless, and hopeless, and wounded. And she said to him, look, think of your heart as a gate. You control that gate. You get to decide who comes in and who stays out. You get to decide how wide you want to open that gate or how closed you want to keep it. And I loved that image. And I think if we add that the gatekeeper keeps his heart open as he opens or closes the gate, that's even better. So again, it's all about balance, about awareness, about choosing the energy that will help you stay in alignment. I'm starting to sound like a broken record. I say that every full moon. Choice, alignment, balance. Okay, so we're going to switch gears now for a minute because I'd like to acknowledge that we are ending a yearly cycle. So have handy your pen and your piece of paper. So in a few days, we'll be entering 2021, finally, a new year. And of course, that gives us always the opportunity to start over, to begin again. And traditionally, this has been a time of year to review what's happened in the past and to set new goals for the coming year. And the Capricorn energy certainly encourages this. Set your goals, be ambitious, work very hard to achieve those goals, try to accomplish and do better. But I'm thinking it might be a better idea to sort of soften that energy and redirect it to noticing what it is we really want to feel in our lives next year. Let us invoke the Cancerian energy, nurturing, as a balm for that ambitious, driven Capricorn energy. Cancer wants us to pay attention to our sensitive natures, our feelings. So instead of efforting and setting goals that we rarely keep anyway, I'd like us to ponder on how we wish to feel in this new year. This idea was brought to my attention several years ago by the spiritual teacher I mentioned earlier, Danielle Laporte. And I found that it's a really powerful way to set an intention for the year without the rigidity that ambitious goals can sometimes create. So in just a minute, Lillian is going to put on the screen a list of feelings. And the idea is to think of these as your core desired feelings. Then I'm going to ask you to ponder thoughtfully which three you would like most to experience in 2021. Not yet, Lillian. That's okay. It's okay. Then I'm going to ask you to ponder thoughtfully which three you would most like to experience in 2021. I want you to read them over carefully and see if you can identify three that you most resonate with. And you can also add your own if you don't relate to any that are here. I'll give you several minutes to contemplate this list, and then when you've considered it thoughtfully, please write down on the paper the three you have chosen. And I really want you to take your time with this to make sure that you're in resonance with the feelings that you choose. An additional suggestion is to look at these feelings not just with your analytical mind, but to also pay attention to how your body responds as you contemplate each one. Is it saying yes, no, maybe? When you get a clear answer, mark it on your paper. Okay, now Lillian. Now that you've identified your 3 desired feelings, I want you to contemplate what you need to do to feel the way you most want to feel this next year. Are you willing to do whatever it takes to feel this way? To bring these feelings into your everyday life? List on your paper as many things you can think of that will help you feel the way you most want to feel. And I'll give you about 5 minutes for this part. Now, my friends, I invite you to make a commitment to yourself to tune in each day and see if every day you can do something that day to access the feeling that you wish to feel. I think this is just such a much more gentle, loving way to approach the new year. And it's a way that we can really honor ourselves, especially during these hard times, to just tune in to what we need the most to feel the way we want to feel. So I hope it turns into being a good practice for you as it has for me. Another spiritual teacher that I love is Tama Keeves, and she once said, which I think is very profound, the way you end one cycle is the way you begin the next. So, in the spirit of closing this cycle in prayer and gratitude and blessing, let us listen to this prayer that she wrote and that I've paraphrased somewhat. I bless this year of my life. I bless all that it offered me, and I bless all that I received. I thank myself for this year of my life. I thank myself for everything I tried, whether or not it worked. I thank myself for all the times I believed in myself, even if I couldn't sustain it for as long as I would have liked. I thank myself for living this year with as much integrity as I could muster, given the circumstances. I thank myself for never giving up, even though there were moments of despair. I'm grateful to have survived. I'm grateful for the times that I stretched. And I thank myself for the times I got it right. I thank myself for the times I spoke my truth, and for the times I hunted for my truth. Now I ask that this new beginning be blessed. May I feed it with my love and attention. May this new beginning grow into a beautiful year of blessing for myself and for the world. So thank you, dear friends. I wish you all a healthy, safe, and harmonious new year, and may every desired feeling you have chosen manifest for you. Namaste.